I feel like once a month we need to just deep dive into some advanced analytics. That's that time. NBA nerds lock in. So this site is Dunks and Threes. This is not a sponsorship, and this also is a paid subscription. So Dunks and Threes, if you're seeing this, don't be mad. I'm just showcasing some of the greatness that is your site. But I really enjoy it. Starting off with, this is the homepage. I mean, I love a place that'll give you a good old graph, so you ain't got to look at the numbers necessarily. You could just straight up look over here and figure out, you know, how to read it. Like you can just see the San Antonio Spurs in a league of their own as being bad, and then in a league of their own of greatness is the Boston Celtics right now. The homepage gives you adjusted net rating, adjusted offensive rating, defensive rating, so you can see that the Boston Celtics, even with the adjusted, are the #1 team and would have the best offense of all time. And then the the Sacramento Kings are second, tied with the Utah Jazz, which is crazy considering the talent level on that roster, that they're still this high. Now, I'm recording this video Sunday in the morning, so when you see this, these numbers might be a little bit off because there's a full slate of games tonight, but you know, they probably won't divvy up too much, so let's just have some fun and look at some stuff. Even this stat is cool. It's called the offensive possession length, the average number of seconds per offensive possession. So these are, it kind of correlates with pace, obviously, but the Sacramento Kings only take 13.5 seconds to get a shot up, while like the slowest team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have the lowest pace, take about 15 seconds to get their shot up. And then you can also look at it defensively. On the defensive side of the ball, the Milwaukee Bucks are forcing teams to get up shots early. Same thing with the Houston Rockets. And then the Detroit Pistons are taking the longest off the shot clock defensively, which is something I don't know how to react to just yet. And look, these are the type of things that feed into my I don't even know the word. The Bulls have had the toughest strength of schedule in basketball. They've had #1. And right now they sit at 9-13. So like, I can see a Bulls fan looking at this and be like, hey, if we had the toughest strength of schedule when we 4 games under 500, that ain't too bad. We've had the toughest strength of schedule. We've had the 5th best defense in basketball in that time. Not too bad. But it's really based on the opposing teams' defense have been the best. Because this is saying that, hey, when it comes to the strength of schedule offensively, you went against top 10, but like, it's the defensive team. You're going against the best defensive teams in basketball so far, basically. And that's probably correlating to our offensive rating being so bad. But I hate the false hope. Don't give me this. The easiest strength of schedule so far has been the Milwaukee Bucks. Not by far. It's actually tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is not great that the Wolves are below 500 with the tie for the easiest schedule in basketball. They got to figure that out. Same thing with the Suns. Had a relatively easy schedule so far, which is good for them because they've been battling injuries through the first month and a half of basketball. So them even being this, even with an easy schedule, is still really dope. Anyway, we also have like the 4-factor stuff that we can put in here, like effective field goal percentage as a team, free throw rate, yada yada. Highest free throw rate in basketball, Portland Trail Blazers. Did not see that coming. I thought it was gonna be a team like the Dallas Mavericks when you have like Luka and things like that, but I guess one person can't do it all by himself, and that's what the Portland Trail Blazers. They got a nice plethora of great players, or really good players, that can get to the free throw line. You get to efficiency. The most efficient mid-range shooting team in basketball is going to be the Boston Celtics, and they're going to dominate a lot of these offensive rating things because obviously, but at the rim, they only shooting 63%, which is about 12th in basketball, but their three-point percentage is ridiculous. The Denver Nuggets are close, though. I didn't even realize that the Denver Nuggets were shooting that well from 3. So that just lets you know, that a lot of things go under the radar. They're really, really close to the Boston Celtics, who again have the #1 offense of all time, and also shows you the rate in which they're doing these. So the most field goal attempts at the rim, the Lakers are #1, which makes sense. Anthony Davis is dominating the game. The Pelicans '2, it makes sense. Zion Williamson, Jonas Valanciunas, these guys get to the basket. The Charlotte Hornets are #3. Now that's something that came out of left field. Same thing. OKC doesn't come out of left field because Shea gets to the basket at will. The worst team at getting to the basket is the Suns, which makes sense because, oh no, it doesn't, because I was under the impression that the Suns are a high mid-range shooting team, but even this season, although they are high, okay, so they're trying to say the blue means bad, so they're trying to say, hey, cut these mid-range jump shots out. And the #1 team that doesn't give up mid-range or doesn't shoot mid-range jump shots is Dallas Mavericks, and so on and so forth. The Bulls are #3 here, a lot of mid-range jump shots. So I knew that the Phoenix Suns was going to be low because they shoot a lot of mid-ranges, and DeAndre Ayton, he's been good, but he's not like a real bruiser. He'll take a mid-range jump shot. He'll take a hook from 10 feet out and so on and so forth. And then three-point rate, the Bulls are going to be real bad at that. They don't shoot a lot of threes. Actually, the Atlanta Hawks being this low was surprising to me that they're such a mid-range heavy team. Considering you have Trae Young and yada, yada, yada. This ain't even talking about percentages. This is talking about the rate. And I know Trae Young's shooting has been down this season, but I thought for sure with Trae Young and him being able to get his teammates involved that they'd have a higher. Now, I ain't think they was going to be number one, but being dead last behind the Bulls is surprising to me. Denver's rim defense is the worst in basketball. The best is the Clippers. Shout out to Big Zoo. And the Bulls and the Spurs are the worst three-point defending teams in basketball when it comes to efficiency. The Jazz are still running people off the line. That was something that they did very early in the season and still living to this day. But they give up the most when it comes to at the rim touches and stuff. So it's just a really cool sight to see a bunch of random stuff like this. Even if you want to look at assist rate, if that matters, you free throw percentage as a team. The Bulls are number 3. Shout out to the Bulls. Everything is Bulls related, Bulls centric. So that's just this page. But we can go into individual players, right? So I could say JaVale McGee, but he was blacked out, and I'm assuming because it's because he's coming off the bench. So it gives you the start lineup right here. But if I cared about JaVale McGee's stats throughout his career, they're all right here individually. It's estimated plus minus offensively, defensively, and yada yada. And then they give you some graphs, which is cool. Let's look at let's go to LeBron because his season has been somewhat weird. Now, this is one of LeBron's worst seasons when it comes to this EPM. It's actually number 2 behind his rookie season. His offensive estimated plus minus, this is the worst it's been since his rookie season. Defensive plus minus is not the worst it's been because he's had some not so great defensive seasons. He's locked in a little bit on that aspect. But yeah, it just ain't been the greatest season of LeBron's career, but he's also 38 years old, gonna be 38 years old later this month. So, you know what I'm saying? Estimated wins added is actually so low. Wow. That's only 2 when even last year, 12, a 9, 15. He had seasons where it was 23, by the way. Come on, man. 27. Prime Brown was a crazy dude. Prime Brown was a crazy dude. Even his effective field goal or his true shooting percentages are lower than normal, but they haven't gone up because last time I checked this, it was the lowest since his rookie season. But since then, he's got better. It's like 3rd worst, or 4th worst. So it's still not great, but it's better than what it was. It gives you his shot density, his shot chart and density, which is dope. And this reads like a LeBron James density chart. So shout out to him. I'm trying to think of somebody else that could be interesting for this. Actually, let's just go to the entire league. You even got this on the side that shows you number 1, Steph Curry, kind of in league of his own right now. Luka's, I guess not in league of his own, but he's up number 1 by a lot. You see majority of NBA players are sitting in this middle spot. So it's like top 3, Jokic, Luka, and Steph Curry. And when it comes to this wins number, you got Curry, KD, Luka. Shout out to Porzingis for having such a good season, man. He's top 5 or top 10 in this stat, which is dope. Jaren and Bismack Biyombo, bro. Block percentage is crazy to be in double digits. Crazy. Now, Jaren has played less than 200 minutes, but still, that is a crazy stat. What about steal percentage? DeLon Wright also only 90 minutes and 50 minutes for Campazzo, but B-Ball Paul. Steal rate is crazy. Nerlens Noel, steal rate is crazy. Only 60 minutes. B-Ball Paul is doing his thing in 240 minutes. DeAnthony Melton in almost 600 minutes. So if you look at this stat, you probably say DeAnthony Melton is number 1 with the minutes played. And then Dennis Smith Jr., Tari Eason. Yeah, those are some people that I expect to get steals. Tyrese, league of his own when it comes to assist percentage. But I can say, hey, I only want to look at point guards and the Atlanta Hawks point guards and see how Trae Young is faring against his backups, obviously. Pretty good. It's the backups and it's the all-star caliber player. These are just the type of sites that I feel like I could stay on all day just looking at advanced stats. And obviously stats don't tell the full story, but it gives you a nice little marking of different trends going on with different teams. And these go all the way back to 2014 where Chris Paul was number 1. Actually, let's look at Chris Paul. Obviously, he ain't played much this season. But if you look, even when him not playing much this season, the advanced stats love him. He can't shoot though. Don't look at his shooting percentage and stuff. It's the worst it's ever been. But the best season of Chris Paul, 2009 Chris Paul. Bro, I might have to go back and watch some highlights, ladies and gentlemen. I might have to go back and watch some highlights because that got a brother thinking about how great he was in that period of time. So, ooh, Oh, I don't really like his chart though. Yuck. A season where the Bulls were good. 50-win Chicago Bulls. About average at everything, but 50 wins is 50 wins, ladies and gentlemen. You love to see that. Thank you so much for watching. If you got another site you want to see me dive into when it comes to these stats and yada, 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 let me know, man. And tune in tomorrow for another one.